Hello everyone, and welcome to the Spiritual Insight Show. I'm Reverend Tiffany White, Sage Woman, and it is a beautiful Tuesday evening, November 15th. I did not have a show last week due to the elections, and knew that viewers wouldn't be watching this show anyway, so that's alright. Took a night off, but I am back and it's beautiful. Still feeling the effects of that full supermoon. Whew, and the effects of so many other things as well. How many of you have been feeling a little confused or a little flaky, airheaded, spacey? Feel just like you aren't yourself lately. You feel changes within you. Like I said, the most changes and things that people have been discussing with me have been feeling it in their physical body, whether it's they get confused, their mind. I've been feeling spacey myself. I'm on the computer a lot, and this may surprise people. I of course have my own business, so I'm on the computer. And when I say all day, it's not like I'm chained to the desk. I do get up, I get out in nature. I do make sure I have some exercise and movement, and take the time for myself. The point being is that usually, when you're used to typing, you can just type really fast. But I'm finding that I'm making crazy mistakes, like misspelling birds, and that I should know. And I'm like, what is that? Where's that coming from? And it's just like, okay, everything is fine. Let's just keep going. And that's me checking in with the guides. Asking, okay, do I need to take a break? Is everything all right? Nauseated. A lot of people have been feeling nauseated. Again, it's a lot of crazy symptoms, dizziness, and we also are very sensitive. I know I've talked about this before. We're all very sensitive to earth changes. There was New Zealand had a big earthquake, and so we all really do feel this. We are connected with this earth. And to some degree, whether you're aware of it or conscious of it or not, we all do feel each other's pain. And we're going to talk about this a little bit more. I'm not going to go into great detail about politics and about the election results. I did make a video on my YouTube channel. I think it was a post-election. I did a little snippet there. But what the guides are really wanting me to touch base on is everyone's reaction, how everyone is reacting. And we can talk a little bit about that because we're all feeling it. We really are. Whether we're involved in it or not, or we think that we're not involved and we take ourselves out, since we're all connected to each other, we're feeling it too. Even if you try not to, like I said, don't turn the TV on and try to stay neutral. We feel the collective energy. We feel it all. But anyway, I just wanted to welcome everyone. Thank you to the show, whether you watch live or whether you're watching in the archives. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day and evening to sit in sacred circle with each and every one of us this evening. And like I said, a space is held for those who watch it. No matter what time you're watching, you are sitting in sacred circle with each and every one of us. And, all of us are giving and receiving healing to each other during this beautiful healing hour. So, thank you. All right. Those of you who watch my show a lot, or maybe who maybe know, I always like to maybe just hear this is what we're going to do. Every week I like to give some messages, from crystal and gemstone message, a power animal message, and then usually I'll do, have asked a channeled message during the day. But I'm going to do a different type of message, which you'll see in a few minutes. So, and this is, to me, it's all part of Earth. This is to help you to understand how it all comes together. We are all related and connected. So, and the crystals, where do the crystals and gemstones come from? Earth. All right. All right. So, the at least, you know, from what we know of, they maybe have some space crystals. Anyway, the gemstones and crystals that you find here on this earth plane has been mined here. Anyway, all right. So it was very interesting. The crystal and gemstone that showed up for us is the topaz. So topaz comes in many different colors. Very, very pretty. Topaz actually it can be a lot of people's birthstones. I know mine is December is blue topaz. So that's really pretty. Just to give you an idea of where have I heard topaz before. Pink topaz for October. And now they do have like some substitutes, like, and this is why you have to be careful. Like, I know November is citrine, but they also have like a yellow or an orangish type of topaz. So you want to make sure, if you think you're getting an aquamarine and it's like a light green topaz instead, it's always just good to know what crystal or gemstone that you are getting. So the message that came in with topaz is grab the topaz to help us relax. It encourages relaxation of physical and emotional strain. Interesting. Physical and emotional strain. All right, now this is beautiful because it all, when I start sitting down and channeling the messages, I ask my guys, what are we going to talk about during my show? And I see how everything all comes together, from the crystal message to the power animal message. It's just so beautiful how they just weave it all together. It's all related and connected. Okay, take a sip here. All right, so that's beautiful. So now the power animal message is Snowy Owl. Snowy Owl. I was kind of excited. Ooh, nice. Snowy Owl. So the snowy owl. Say that fast 5 times. Anyway, the snowy owl represents and reminds us about silence and swift movements, keen sight, looking at the whole picture, no tunnel vision, looking at the whole picture, right? A messenger of secrets and omens, shape-shifting. The link between the worlds of dark and light, it shines the truth, the light on oneness. On oneness, it really does. So great messages. And I also like to use several different tools because the messages everyone can relate to. Like maybe you related more to the topaz, message, maybe the snowy owl. But then you start listening to them all and realize that, wow, it's pretty much connected. It's repeating, it's saying really the same intention, that same thought, but in a different way. So I just love how it all comes together. Now, like I said before, I usually have an archangel, an ascended master, somebody, give a message in the higher vibrations. But I'm so excited because I received a new deck of cards today. And so I wanted to share them. Actually, they came in yesterday. But for those of you who know, I love runes. I love the runes. And I think it was on social media, it was on Facebook, and this lady pulled a card today, the card of the day, and it was a rune. She used the Rune Oracle deck, and I was like, what's this? I hadn't seen this. And most women like to collect designer handbags and shoes, and I don't. Mine is crystals and tarot and oracle decks. So this is the Runes Oracle deck. Anyway, these cards are beautiful. Beautiful. Let me just show you some of them. Since taking advantage of the TV here, I can show you what some of them look like. And they are all just very, very beautiful cards. Just going to go through quickly. Yes, I'm not going through the whole deck like some of them. And I did tell you this woman who I asked, oh my goodness, where did you get this deck? I'm going to share this because this is really funny. Let me pull this card here. She said before she turned on the TV last week on election morning, or after the polls had closed, right? And before she even turned on the TV, or she had asked who won. And her son was like, hey mom, who do you think won before we check it out? And she drew this card. All right. Now, she said, look, there's a wall. It was Trump. Isn't that funny? I'm sorry. You've got to find humor in things, people. Come on, let's not be so upset about everything. All right. And I know I can probably butcher the names of the runes, but we get the idea. They have the actual rune symbol on top of the deck, but they're just so very beautiful. Oh, aren't they? So I think I'm just showing you some of the really pretty ones. I'm going to go over that one with you in a minute, but here, look at this one. Isn't that gorgeous? It has a flying horse like the Pegasus on top, the third eye. Just beautiful illustrations. Absolutely gorgeous. And this is representing stillness. Yeah, Isa, be still, the stillness. Wow. So I mean, I could sit here and show you all of them. They're just really great cards. So, all right, wasn't that fun? And then here's I don't have that necklace on this evening, but I usually wear it all the time. I had gotten this beautiful runes necklace several years ago, and it's by David Jewelers. They're on Facebook. I do promote them, share his posts. He makes beautiful spiritual symbols, astronomy symbol. I mean, just it's beautiful fine jewelry. It really is. And so it was about maybe 3 years ago, anyway, or 4. So anyway, I had visited the website, liked it, whatever. Anyway, I got a pendant from them, and I actually asked them to choose to send me whatever rune they wanted to choose. That, and he chose this symbol right here. All right, Manaz. Again, it's not the way they say it, but it didn't grab out my pronunciation book. But anyway, wait, everybody, don't get mad at me. But it's beautiful. Meaning here is the balance too. It's the 3 faces of God, one face facing the sun, one face facing the moon, and one looking ahead on the mankind and humanity. And it's pretty much all about balance. So I thought it was very beautiful that that's the rune that was chosen for me. And I really, it's one of my treasured treasure pieces of jewelry, that, and I actually have it on the same necklace. I'll have to show you next time, next show time. I have it with a couple of other my special charms. You know, you have everything on one necklace. Well, you know, most, I can't say women because men do it too. Put many charms on a necklace. So, all right. Anyway, the message from this beautiful deck is actually the Partho card. Partho, see the symbol on top right here. This is the rune symbol here, okay? And I'm trying to get the glare off so you can see this beautiful card. You see? And this rune is associated with inevitability and fate. Inevitability and fate. So just look at this image for a moment. This is a man really on a high wire. He is walking along a tightrope, so to speak. All right, and notice he's a young man. I wanted to go out of focus here. All right, he could fall being on this high wire, but he continues forward as he cannot do otherwise. He can't go any other place else, but he has to continue to go forward. So I thought this was really beautiful. Let's look at this whole, okay, because I got the theme immediately with the guides. Let's see. A young man. Like the USA is young, all right? So the whole world is watching us, is watching how we react, what we're doing. All right. It's totally, hold on here. You know I'm on TV, right? I just am letting you know. Okay, sorry. I didn't have to let. Well, no, just gotta watch the usage here. It takes a lot of data. All right. Anyway, back to. Sorry about that. Okay. So the world is watching. And watching what this young man, this young country is going to do. And we can all feel like we're walking on this tightrope. Well, there's only one thing to do, and that's to keep going forward. All right. This rune celebrates the beauty of the unexpected and highlights the fact that if one is not willing to take risks, one cannot realize one's dreams. So, isn't there a risk with change? So let's stop and think about this for a moment. Is this the first elections that everybody went totally bonkers over? No, it's not. All right. Can people remember the kickback or the opposition in 2008? The 2008 elections? All right. Some were happy, some were. I mean, there was a division. I pretty much think too. Let's think back now to 1980 when Ronald Reagan. Hey, an actor is elected president? An actor. Come on, people. This isn't the first time that there's been controversy over political elections, and it's not going to be the last. I mean, well, it may be changed a bit differently, but it's you know, there's going to be that shock and that awe, and we shouldn't be divided with the outcome. And maybe it's because of you know, that this whole world, it seems like it's around separation and set up with division. So we've got these different parties, and it's oh my goodness, and if this particular party doesn't win, I'm going to do this, and if this one does, and blah 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 blah. Really, they are representatives. Are they rulers of your life? It's just very interesting watching how everyone's reacting. Excessive fear, and this is the energy that we're all getting smacked with. Empaths. I've had a lot of other healers, sensitive healers, contacting me. Just had a phone call this morning. Hey, let's talk. Are you feeling this way too? I mean, I almost didn't do my show tonight because I wanted to just curl into a ball. I was in my pajamas, in my robe, comfortable, till about 6 o'clock. And I realized I'm going to get showered for my show. And I'm even asking my guides, do I really need to do my show? Is anyone going to watch? Does anyone even watch these? Does anyone, you go through the whole thing. And they're just like, really? It's not about you? Get in the shower. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Did you see that? Did you catch that? We have to do things with this mission. It's not about me being comfortable all the time. Now you can pamper yourself. Please don't take this wrong. But I know that there's a mission to do, and I know after channeling everything, the message is, yeah, I've got to deliver it. Channeling is half of it. Got to deliver it now. The other half, right? So sure, I understand when you get hit with that fear. The thing is that even we working in the upper vibrations, you're part of the whole. You're going to feel the collective consciousness. You're going to feel everyone else. And right now, collectively, the fear is at a very high level than it's been in a while. So excessive fear of the unknown, it paralyzes us. It can block our plans, our personal plans. We must with change abandon ourselves to our destiny. Now, so let's ask some questions here. We've watched how people are acting, and it's interesting. It's those that wanted or that accused other parties of being a certain way, violent, prejudiced, whatever. But look at how they're acting. Are they not acting what they accused the others to be? So it's very interesting. All the hate slinging, everything, and it's like, really, people, do you need an excuse to go out there and just be the way that they're being, protesting, destroying property, acting like thugs, acting, do we need an excuse? Are you looking for an excuse just to go do something? And so that you can blame it on that? Do you know that's a lost sheep without its shepherd? That's what that is. Come on. We really need to show the world that we're smarter than that. Smarter mind, body, and soul here. This is where it really gets interesting, because we have to collectively work together as a team. And this is where the light workers, we're all together. We're still working together, but we feel this, what's happening. We're not going to let it paralyze us. But I just want to ask everybody, is fear paralyzing you? Is fear causing you to react in a violent and forceful way? Fight, fight. We didn't get our way, so we're going to fight. Mm-hmm. Is fear being given more power than it was divinely designed as? It was interesting, as the guides were showing me this analogy of ancient Rome, and remember the arena there, and that when you participate with fear, in fear, and when you say you fight something, you signed up for that fight. You're going into that arena. Or are you going to physically fight? You want to be right there in the middle of it? Or are you going to be a participant, or someone who's watching, but you're still participating even if you're watching and not doing anything? So are you in the stands, or are you in the actual pit of the arena there fighting? And remember, in history, a lot of them had to fight. It was for entertainment. Hello. Not saying that this is entertaining at any means, But are you ruling your life, or are you letting fear rule your life? And if you let fear be in charge, it's going to be the puppet master and is going to use you in a very destructive and violent, low 3D vibrational way. So it's oh, we didn't get the president we want, so now we're going to fight. Okay, why do you feel like now, why do you feel threatened by that? And I don't like, again, this further division and separation of groups of, oh, well, certain groups have to be careful. Now you have to watch out what color you are, or what your beliefs are, and women now, and women are going to, take a hit because we have a sexist president, and blah, 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 blah. Excuses, people, excuses. How many times does history have to repeat itself? And why are jumping to conclusions? Why are we jumping to conclusions? You really don't know somebody until they get into office. You don't really know it, come on, until they prove themselves, so to speak. And this is usually very, very true with politics. Okay? They always wear a mask. And I'm not going to get into great detail about that, because the focus here is that what is circling around all of us right now is fear. And I'm even watching other spiritual leaders, people in the spiritual realm who who has had a very powerful voice in the past, suddenly be overcome with fear and the way that they're reacting. And it's like, okay, now let's remember. But if someone gets upset because they can't express themselves, where is that really coming from? Is that coming just from a presidential election, or is that coming from maybe you feeling suppressed all your life? So we have to get to the core issue of why you're feeling this way. Where is this fear coming from? So you mean to tell me that all this major fear is just from a presidential election? Unless you had past lives where you kept coming back and were affected by that decision, okay, sure. But no, there's always a deeper reason for triggers and for when we let any part of negativity take the reign. We must open ourselves to the world and to others and acknowledge and accept our connection to each other. This openness enhances our empathy and makes us eager to learn new cultures, new ideas, and new alternative ways of living. We all have so much to share, and it's like everyone who wants to take that first step towards peace. So emotional healing is the link to regaining and maintaining balance. Emotional healing. And that's the link to regaining and maintaining balance. So anger, grief, and fear. Well, we must see these emotions as they were divinely created, as friends rather than enemies. There isn't a fight. There isn't a fight at all. You're not fighting with friends, and then there's balance. Well, you shouldn't fight with friends. I was always raised that, you don't fight with your true friends. You may have disagreements, and that it's okay to agree to disagree. But you don't actually fight verbally, maliciously attack, physically, violently attack people you call friends. And to watch this, friends turning against each other, family members. It's a presidential election, for goodness sake, that's all it is. Hello? No matter how many different parties there are, the whole goal really is that they want the United States to keep going, thriving, and surviving. All right. We haven't had a president to sell us off yet, have we? See. Anyway, and there's too many checks and balances. This isn't a dictatorship. So just the fact that people can protest is a freedom that many other countries don't have. So now they watch us act like immature, just immature, and going, wow, they have no idea. They're so spoiled. They have no idea what it's like to maybe live in a place where you fear for your life every day, where there's gunfire in the background, where people don't have the ability to maybe go and vote. They don't have that right because maybe they're not the right color skin, or they're not the right social bracket to go vote. And so they don't have a voice like we have voices. And so they get, wow, they on one hand admire how we have all these freedoms, and on the other hand are sad for us because it's like we're misusing it. We don't even know how to handle our own freedom. Right? Do we know how to handle it properly? Does running around acting like screaming little brats wanting to fight and is that really gonna help, or is that gonna hurt? Is that just gonna show the world, yeah, see, look, there they are, there they go, for a country that fought to survive, and it just seems like, what is that? Is that just our history? Of course, all of history is a history of violence. And where does it end? Who does it end with? Now, dealing with emotions in a constructive manner and how to engage them rather than run away from them or allow them to run your life is vital for us realigning back to oneness. People have been taught to work with either the body or the mind. Think about the mind or the body. And even in growing up, many of us, especially if you're male, were told, don't cry, stop, shake it off. Oh, did you get hurt? Rub some dirt in it. You'll be better. Everything will be fine. Even some girls growing up, don't show weakness, don't cry, don't do this. What you are doing, what you are telling, what you're programming and brainwashing that person, that's usually child, is we're going to snuff off that feminine side of you immediately. Because now what's left is that masculine side who's going to stay in fight and flight, and who's going to always be aggressive, who's going to be in that survival mode, who is going to be fearful, and they're easy to control that way. Us in our true power scares a lot of people. Scares those that want to control and dominate. Us in our true power, our masculine and feminine in balance, and that's what I'm talking about, masculine and feminine in balance. If you really want to, positive is the masculine, the negative is the female, and that's even with the yin and yang, with the positive and the negative. It's the same thing. You need both, and they should both be in agreement and be balanced. This is how we're going to get through all of this. And it's not just about women rising up and going from patriarchal to matriarchal. No, it's about balance, men and women together, the masculine and feminine side on in everyone coming together. It's not just one particular sex. Okay? And so now it's like, oh, there's so many different types of sex. Being is sexless, quite honestly, as far as, or it just encompasses all of them. So why do we have to keep making things more difficult? More labels, more separation. It's we are beings, and we have the masculine and feminine in each of us. That is both. All right. Anyway, so people who have been taught to work with either just the body or the mind, and that our emotions or feelings are a second class type of status. You know that? Second class or lower class. Because, oh, well, you're not intelligent. You don't have these degrees, this certificate. You're not in this particular bracket with employment or making money. Let me say, more like money. All that paralyzes us. All right, it just blocks us, period. And it creates blind spots. Hey, no more blind spots. Our emotions are messengers. They let us know when we are off track and off balance. They let us know when we are not addressing important spiritual and even social needs. Think about that for a moment. Let's think about our emotions here. Let's feel this and know that it's true. When we're off balance, it's just an alarm. Hey, you're off balance. It goes off. And then we're supposed to do something about it. We're supposed to fix that alignment. We're supposed to level up. All right? If we were to run our lives like you fly a plane off balance, we would crash. How many times would you crash? Really? All right. And that's all it is. It's like, so we're balanced. Okay, now we kind of feel like we're going off course. You're just going to continue to go off course? You're just going to, at that point when you're going off course, you're going to put it in a manual and just let it just crash? Or are you going to do something about it? Or are you going to recognize, oh, okay, I recognize how this makes me feel. I can feel fearful. Why does this make me feel fearful? I feel anxious. Why does this make me feel anxious? And any other kind of way that you feel. It's funny, we don't question when we feel happy and joy and bliss, do we? It's we understand and we get that, but we also shouldn't make excuses for any of our emotions being off balance. All right. Again, denying our emotions or trying to make excuses for them is like killing pain or relieving symptoms with drugs. It may cause temporary moments of no pain, and you may feel better, but the cause of the problem, the root cause, remains and will never go away until we address it. And it's interesting how we've heard these phrases, the root cause, the root of this. What does that remind you of when you hear root? Don't you hear or think of grounding? Hey, there's the answer right there. When we feel off balance, it's because maybe we're not rooted. Maybe we're not grounded. What's throwing us off balance? All right, we can also say too that the balance is, we have to maintain that balance between earth and heaven. There's so many different analogies, but it all comes to the same masculine, feminine. And whether it's staying balanced, with earth energies, the grounding, and then the upper vibrations, the heavens, so to speak. It's important to always maintain balance. and especially at this time, what's going to happen, and I know a lot of people have said this, and this isn't a prediction, this is just the time frame that we're in. Or maybe I should say, yes, it's been a prediction that even the Mayans, a long time ago, people made these predictions that this is the time that we are hitting, expanding, we're ascending, we have hit that ascension mode. We are expanding. We really are. It is working. Why does it seem like it's not when you turn on the TV or you hear the news and you see where people could be fearful for their life, and it's no, all that type of energy, that low vibrational energy, is 3D energy, and it's going to implode on itself, just like in that arena. All right, just like you want to sit there in that gladiator arena and fight, it's going to close in, close in, close in, close in, and implode on all those that want to participate in that. When you fight, you make that your reality. And those who, people, oh, I knew this was going to happen. That's because you manifested it to happen. So you have to be careful. For those that sit there and that's all you think about, it is negativity and bad things happening, you're manifesting. You're manifesting it to happen. Why? You know, so then you can say, I knew this was going to happen, or feel victimized. Oh, I'm a victim, or blame this and blame that. No. If your mission's to go down with the ship, to go down with the 3D type of vibrations, then okay. You won't be watching this anyway. You won't be watching this or anything spiritual. And it's not a bad thing like you think. With every birth and rebirth, there is death, there's change. This is what happens with change. There's always this constant state of birth and death, death and birth, death and rebirth, that kind of thing. Nature reminds us this yearly. Things grow, they're really pretty, they're peak, and then they start to die off, but they come back. I mean, if they don't come back, there's another wave that comes back. But the thing is that it comes back. And even if it's like gardeners will understand, it's like you have a favorite plant or bush and it comes back stronger and double the size or even more beautiful the next year. So what about change is fearful? Somehow society's gotten off track thinking that things need to be just set in stone and live happily ever after just like that. It doesn't happen. Not energetically. It's not who we are, and it doesn't exist anywhere else. We're constantly changing and expanding. That's the big word I keep hearing time and time again, is expansion, 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 to explain this time frame that we are in. I need to get a sip of my bio coffee. It's good stuff. You can find that on my website. whitesagewoman.com is my website. Whitesage, S-A-G-E, woman.com. And I just was sipping some bio coffee that's on the, I think, recommended products. But I've been drinking this for years. It's wheatgrass. It's a type of coffee. It only has 4 ingredients in it. It's an acquired taste. But it's very good, and if that's the kind of trick that I need to fool my mind by calling it, it's coffee, and drinking it, that's the name of it, that was bio coffee, then hey, that's great. It's a healthier alternative to it. So that's fine. If we have to like reprogram or retrain for a positive or balance That's good, because we lie to ourselves a lot. So why not turn that around? Why not? And we know you can't really fool yourself, so to speak. Even when you're purposely flat out lying to yourself, you know deep down that it's a lie, but you're just hoping it will change. Well, how can anything change when you, again, are recreating the same scenario in your head, and you eventually then manifest it? So that is what I'm talking about, is that we are very strong manifestors. For those who don't understand or believe that we can manifest, look around. Everything that we have created, we've manifested. All right? We have. But I would rather, let's manifest something great. Excuse me, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Woo! All right. Why not manifest peace? That's right, I said that. Manifest peace. That's how it's going to happen. What do you think? It's just that heavens are going to open up and everything, and all the ascended masters and angels and even some people, okay, Jesus is coming back, and it's just, then there'll just be worldwide peace swept all over. No. 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 We all have a mission here. It's not just to let it be God's will, and what will be done. That's not taking ownership for your life either. All right. We are here for a particular mission, and it's not just to sit back and eat popcorn and watch the movie go by. We have to participate. And so those that have been sitting down on the sidelines and maybe want to participate, how are you participating again? Are you participating in a fight? Are you going to participate in the peace part? To let's keep the balance. Are you going to enter that gladiator arena, or are you going to, let's do something different? And different. Peace has existed before on this earth plane, and we're going to bring it back. And I don't mean back to like how it was, because you can't ever duplicate, once you've moved away from it, a precise a moment in time, or make things exactly like how they were. They're going to be better, and there's going to be in its own unique and special way. And so let's manifest. And this is how the light workers, this is what we're doing, is manifesting that peace, holding the upper vibrations. What do I mean by holding the upper vibrations? This is where we are. This is, instead of diving down into that darkness, and all the darkness is cruel. At first it's almost comforting. It's the feminine. It's almost like comforting. You feel hugged. And then when you're there too long, it gets bitchy and irritable, doesn't it? It's like, okay, get out! You must leave now. But you don't want to, because you feel comforted by it. But you got to get back to the light, back to the balanced part of it. All right? And light workers, we are feeling everything. Let's just keep holding that balance, holding that space. Doesn't mean that we are... that we don't get to feel everything. It's not like we're excluded from everything that's going on. No, we don't feel that way at all. We are very much a part of the whole. Even though I don't want to watch the news, I don't want to participate in any of the negativity, doesn't mean that I'm not participating in life and what's going on right now. All right, so we shouldn't do that either. We shouldn't tell people what they are or aren't doing, when we should be more concerned about our own actions and what we are doing. And you want to make things better for everybody. Yes, by now, come on, we all know the power of prayer is very powerful. There you go, the power of prayer. It works. It truly works. So let us use that time to, and I know a lot of it's that prayer is asking, and meditation is receiving. So why don't you know what command means? It's both of those. It's both parts of that. Again, the separation. We took something so beautiful like a command and divided it into ask. You have to ask, and then the meditation with receiving. Well, that's a control situation. So command. We command peace. Oh, well, we can. Yes, we can. How many of you have brought in everything negative or bad that has happened to you just by your own thoughts? All right, we see it. We are the architects that every day are designing blueprints. What does your drawing look like? What does your blueprint look like? It doesn't matter if it's stick figures or not. You can have stick figures. But are the stick figures fighting, or are they, living in peace and harmony with each other? And what does that look like? It's hard to wrap around, isn't it? It's hard to, what does peace look like? How would that be? And is it wrong to allow ourselves to play that scenario out? Or do we stop ourselves and go, no, that's impossible. Why are we shooting ourselves in the foot? Why are we shooting that down? Allow it. Grab that blueprint. Grab that paper out, the architect. How would you play peace out? Design it. Because everything we think turns into those plans, and the more we repeat, or the more we put energy and power into that plan, then we manifest it. We build off of that. And that's what we're building off of. And this is what, do we just say light workers? And it's not just the human being light workers. We're working in harmony with the ascended masters, with the angels, and yes, there's a fine line between angels and our alien ancestors. Just gonna say that. Again, I know I've said it before in the past, but for those of you who maybe this is new to you, we have to consider this. And with communicating with the energies, and I know who I'm communicating with, that there's very little difference. There's a very fine line between, we've called these archangels, and then these alien ascended masters. Not just earth ascended masters, but the alien ascended masters. See, I'm having a hard time talking. No. So I was talking about at the beginning of the show. The spaciness. Anyway, so those types of energies are just very, very powerful, and there's a fine line between them. Anyway, they're here to help. We're all here to work together. Are they just going to come and take care of everything? No. Like with how would you be as parents? Meet me halfway. So this is pretty much the, hey, let's meet halfway. Guess what we had? We had to get to a certain level, a certain point in history, and we did. When we passed 2012, Earth has moved from 3D to 5D. Some people think it's a process that's going to take a couple of years, but I'm hearing Earth is already in 5D, and this is why there's a lot of, it's going to be some Earth changes, even more so. We're going to feel it. This is why we're feeling this offness, is what the, and I say guides, angels, ascended masters, I just say guides to incorporate it all. But this is what they're all talking about. We're all feeling it. Of course, we're feeling it on a physical sense, because this is where all the changes are happening too, that physical, the denseness on the physical plane. And if we haven't tapped into our spiritual part of who we are going to feel completely off. All right, that's what's going to save us is that, you know what, I need to get back to who I truly am, because I came from the light. I was a light being. All right, and so our strands of DNA are reactivating. The dormant strands of DNA are reactivating. I work with this energy every day, and I'm seeing more and more strands of DNA, not just mine, but worldwide. We're being activated. So now that's going to create physical changes in our body. So you can run to the doctor. The doctors aren't going to find anything. And I even want to challenge the doctors. What does a 12-strand, an active 12-strand DNA human being look like? They don't have a picture of that in their books. So what they're treating is 2 DNA strands type of beings, and we're pulling away from that more and more. And because we are ascending and expanding, these kids coming in, they're not in medical books. So don't treat them that lower vibrational way. Oh, they have this disease, they have that disease. Really? Okay. Anyway, that's a whole new subject. That's a whole different topic. That's a whole different show. But just know that we really are on the rise, the expansion, and there is beauty behind that smoke. Right now, those that want to fight, you're on a battlefield. Your vision is clouded because all you see is the gunfire, so to speak, the smoke from the gunfire. You know, and whether you're physically fist fighting somebody or shooting them or using weapons or whatever, you're in that battlefield. You're in that galactic or gladiator arena, and that's that low vibrational energy that you're in. That's all you can see. You can't see outside of that because that's the lower vibration. You can't go any lower. You're stuck at the bottom of the well. And what you've got to do is pull out. You've got to really, really go within, and I want to see the whole picture. Get that bird's eye view. Look at everything and go, wow, there really is more to life. There's more to everything, more than what we have been living, what we have been shown, and what we go crazy with. And letting our fears dictate how we should live. All right. So I hope that this has been helpful. This is the topic that you guys really wanted to keep stressing, and I know there's many other spiritual teachers that are doing the same thing. So you may hear the same type of message being repeated in different ways, but no, I hope that you treat it like it's a beautiful hug. And we are all connected, and we are all here, and feel each other. And where do you want to be? It really is a choice of, do you want to be in the lower vibrations, or do you want to partake in the upper vibrations? Join the light workers. Let's all do this. Let's get it done. Or do you want to stay and implode with the lower vibrations? And I know I said it so directly, but there it is. That's the choices we have to make. This is the fork in the road, people. You can't just sit there anymore. Time has sped up. This is a time to make a choice. And just by sitting there, you're going to implode with the 3D energy. You have to do and be something now. You have to make that choice. All right, so not to scare you, but if you're watching this, hey, or you're listening to any type of spiritual type of messages, videos, listening to audios, then guess what? You are doing it. You are being it. And that's what this is all about. The beautiful, beautiful being. All right? We are human beings. That was a reminder our ancestors left us with. Beings. All right? All this fighting is doing. All right, this bringing helping Earth and going into these upper vibrations. And many of us, by the way, too, who've always been in higher vibrations, there's a lot of us that are in between the 5th and 7th vibrations right now, dimensions, the 5th and 7th dimensions. All right, working. There's always, it's in layers, so we can all, build this chain, so to speak, to help each other. All right, and it's not that one's better than the other. It's all part of the whole. All right, everyone has a job to do. Okay, so I see the time has it's been an hour. Let me say time, but it's really gone by, and I feel the guides pulling back now too. So, all right, well, thank you everyone for sitting in Sacred Circle with me, and each and every one of us this evening, or this morning, or this afternoon, whenever you're watching this replay. And thank you so much for taking time, and please contact me through my website. Again, that's www.whitesagewoman.com. And ask me a question if you have any concerns. I love to hear people's stories. Let's share, because we need to be here for each other and be that continual support. I will let you know too, though, just real quick, I need to say this, is that to help with the nausea and to help the last couple of nights, I've been guided to do this, is I will put like 3 or 4 drops of frankincense essential oil into the palm of my hand, and then immediately I'm taking a carrier oil and I'm putting that in there, and I'm in there too, a little puddle, so to speak, mixing it all up nice. And then I'm rubbing it on my stomach, my abdomen area, that whole lower chakra areas now. Okay, and I'm not talking like the first chakra. You gotta be careful, don't go below the waist, okay? But from, really working the whole abdomen, rubbing that oil everywhere, and the sides, the front. Let me tell you, it has really helped me, helped with the nausea. It helps with any kind of discomfort or pain you may be feeling. And in doing this, I've gotten a really beautiful night's sleep. And it's very healing. Essential oils are very healing. And I could, again, do another show all about that. But just check out my website. You'll see I'm into everything mind, body, and soul. Mind, body, and soul. So I have things for your body as well. These great products, herbs, essential oils, and so forth. So let's just be here for each other and help raise each other up. All right. Again, I'm digressing. Like, how many times now? So just continue on with your night or your day, like I said, whenever you're watching this, and may the obstacles to your flight be few and the blessings along your journey be many. Thank you, each and every one of you.